weight loss measurements, and weekly weigh-in. Today on Meema Mc Living Healthy. Stay tuned. Hello. As I stated earlier, my topics for today are weight loss measurements and my weekly weigh-in. We'll start off with my weekly weigh-in. It's not very pretty, but it is what it is. As I stated, when I first started back on YouTube last May, I felt like that I'd been going on a roller coaster ride for almost a year. Well, I got back on that roller coaster ride these last 2 weeks, or that's the way it seems anyway. As most of you know, 2 weeks ago, I weighed in at 118 pounds even. And then last week, after Papa had been gone for a whole week and I stayed at home and I got a lot of exercise and I really stayed true to Weight Watchers, I weighed in at 113 even. Well, I knew I wouldn't stay at 113, so on Monday when I weighed like I normally do, I was up 2 pounds and I wasn't surprised. And I just thought, okay, I'm just gonna stay the way that I'm gonna stay. This is just how I'm gonna do it. Because 115 to 116, that's what I've been a lot of the last few months. Well, when I got on the scale this morning, I weighed more than either one of those 2 pounds. I weighed in at 118 pounds. So that means in the last 2 weeks, I weighed 118, then I lost 5 pounds down to 113, and now I've bounced right back to the 118 pounds. So why do I think I gained that much this week after losing that much last week? One of the big things that I think made a difference this week was I grazed a lot. That means I caught myself so many times just eating mindlessly. Now, it wasn't real heavy laden calorie points. It wasn't like I was eating Oreo cookies or desserts all the time. It was things like saltine crackers or some of Papa's trail mix that had peanuts and cashews. And had I just eaten a small amount of those, it wouldn't have been bad. But that's not what I did. I found myself eating constantly during the day, especially from lunchtime till about 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon. So that's why I think I gained those 5 pounds. I really wasn't concentrating on Weight Watchers. The old Meema raised her unhealthy head out of the abyss and ate just about all the time. Monday, Tuesday, and a little bit even yesterday. So that's my weigh-in for today. I'm a little embarrassed to say that I gained every bit of those 5 pounds back, but I did. So that's what it was for this week. Hopefully, next week, at least I won't gain 5 pounds. Now, let's go on to the product reveal for this week. You know, I want to start off by saying that I filmed the following part of this video yesterday. I knew that I was probably going to have a weight gain. No, I knew that I was going to have a weight gain this week. I had no idea it was going to be 5 pounds, but I knew I had not been on program like I should have. I knew the personal points plan has always worked for me for the most part since I've been on it since last November, but I knew I really wasn't on it last week. The products revealed in this next part of the video, don't blame them for my 5-pound weight gain, because even though I normally use them every day, I didn't use them very much this past week. That's just something I wanted to explain. They work if you work with them, and I didn't this past week. So let's go on to the product reveal. Today's product reveal, or as I'm going to show you soon, products reveal, involve mainly one topic: measurements. This is a product, it's not a food today, and where some people would probably think, oh, this is so rudimentary, I feel like that everybody needs to consider what they need to use to lose weight. When I first started Weight Watchers years and years ago, I didn't automatically realize that there were certain things that were going to help me lose weight. One of the first things that I did was I made a commitment that I was going to at least go for a year trying to lose the weight that I needed to. I mean, I needed to lose over 75 pounds to get into that healthy weight range. So that was a daunting thought that I had that much to lose, but I knew that if I made a commitment to it, that I would keep it or try my best to. So that was the first thing I did. And then once I started Weight Watchers and I realized I was going to need to track each and every day what I ate, okay, how was I going to do that accurately? Well, the one way that I learned to do it accurately was by buying and utilizing certain types of measurements. So it may sound rudimentary, but I feel like if you're just starting out, then it's something you need to consider. So I'm going to show you some of the things that I use almost daily to help me keep in this healthy weight range. Now, do I have to use them constantly like I did that first year that I was on Weight Watchers? No, I've learned to sort of guesstimate amounts, but I still rely on them to keep me honest. When I begin to put weight on, I reach for these things again to see if my portions are rising again like they did before I was on Weight Watchers. So let's get started with one that's not so much a measurement, but it is something that I use when I go out to eat. This little thing, and you may have seen it before, it has a lid to it. I use it to put salad dressing in when I'm going to go out to eat. You see, that was something I figured out very early in my Weight Watcher life, was salad dressing had a lot of points. Normal, regular salad dressing could be somewhere in the neighborhood of 6 points for 2 tablespoons. And I just wasn't ever willing to spend that kind of an amount of points on something as little as salad dressing. So I found a salad dressing really early on by Skinny Girl. It has so few points, it's worth putting it in this little container when I know I'm going to go and have a salad at a restaurant somewhere. So that's the first one. It holds, I think it holds 3 tablespoons. I normally put no more than 2 tablespoons in it when I'm going out to eat. I thought about getting all of my teaspoons and tablespoon measurements out and decided against that because nearly everybody has that. If they cook at all, they'll have some kind of teaspoons or tablespoon measurement. But I do have one thing that I found at Walmart several years ago that's a 2 tablespoon holder. And for me, I use this a lot because I really like the PB2 powdered peanut butter. And when you fix a single serving, it's 2 tablespoons plus a tablespoon and a half of water. I also add salt to mine. But this is a 2 tablespoon holder, and it was just perfect for me. I use it for more than that now, but originally it was to be able to measure out that PB2, and I even keep it in the jar with the PB2. I have several of these. Now, once again, I didn't want to bring in a bunch of regular measuring cups, but I have some what I call specialty measuring cups that some of them I've been using, a good 25 years. But some of them I just found once I started Weight Watchers. And I have several of these. I think I had a giveaway several months ago when I reached 500 subscribers, and I put one of these in it because I use it so much. I want everybody to have it. And I think it maybe cost a couple of dollars at Walmart, but it holds a total of 1/4 of a cup, or 4 tablespoons, which, you know, I use a lot of 2 and 3 and 4 tablespoons of ingredients when I'm cooking, when I'm preparing foods, and so it's just been perfect. Also, I don't know that you can see, but it shows the amounts on the inside of the measuring cup, and so it's a lot easier to feel. And so I've got 2 of them here, but honestly, I probably have 4 or 5 that I use constantly. And then the next set of measuring cups have the same principle. I've had these measuring cups for at least 20 years. They were produced by Pampered Chef. Nowadays, I think you can get this kind anywhere, but at the time, I didn't know they existed except through Pampered Chef. And it's the same principle as what I was showing just a minute ago. I can put this on my countertop and fill it up and see the amounts that are in it as I fill it up. And I have the single cup, the 2 cup, and the 4 cup version. And I use, if you could see what kind of shape these are in, you would realize how much I truly use them. They're all scratched up, but they still measure. Now, this measuring tool is a little different from the rest of them, but it does measure, and it's my EVO Sprayer. This is something that I feel like has truly helped me lose weight because it measures the amount of oil that I use when I cook. 3 squirts is 1 teaspoon of product. Now, I use this to hold olive oil, and it's called an EVO Sprayer, in case I didn't already say that. But every time I need to use some kind of oil, which 9 times out of 10, it is going to be olive oil, I will use this. I will do my 3 sprays or 4 sprays. As long as I know what I'm using, I know how to track it. And that's why this has been an essential measuring tool that I've used. I guess I found it within the first year. I'm not exactly sure, but it's so much easier to do my measuring of whatever kind of oil I'm going to put in something or using a skillet that I have shared with you before that I used cooking spray the first year, and it pretty much ruined some of my skillets. This won't ruin my skillets because it's olive oil. So the EVO Sprayer, 3 sprays, 1 teaspoon. And then finally, I have 2 different kinds of measurements that are the same thing, and they're scales. Now this was the first scale that I used when I first started Weight Watchers. I'm almost positive that I bought it at Walmart. I don't think I spent more than $15 on it, and it works, you know, pretty much on and off, gives you several different things you can measure, whether it be grams, fluid ounces, milliliters, or ounces and pounds. And I used it constantly that first, I would say first 3 years that I was on Weight Watchers. It also has a little button where if you're measuring something that's going to be on a plate, you can put the plate on it without the without the food on it, and then press this little button. It's called a tare button, and it zeroes things out so that you're not weighing the plate when you weigh the food that's on top of it. And then this other one, it is also a scale, but a good friend of mine, Anita at Chit Paddiwack, recommended this years ago, probably 2017, 2018. It's the ETEC City food scale. It too has different units that you can measure. It has the tare button also like the other one did, but it has a little bit more of a surface to where it's easier for me to put food over on this side of it and measure it. That's why this is the one that I use now, and it's one that I will use until it no longer works. And so I thank Anita for recommending this, because I've really enjoyed using it. If you need more information about any of these products, feel free to leave it down in the comments so that I'll know how I can answer you. Or if you're wanting to know any other information about how I measure things, please put that down in the comments too. I hope you enjoyed this video. Give me a thumbs up if you did. Subscribe if you're not. And share if you think anybody else could learn from it. Goodbye.